Hello and welcome everyone. Today we are going to study a very interesting and important topic, that is the Cold War, a period which began immediately after the end of the Second World War. We shall be analyzing the emergence of two powerful blocs which came up after the end of the Second World War, major arenas of the Cold War, and most importantly, the Cuban Missile Crisis. The Cold War was not simply a matter of power rivalries, of military alliances, and of the balance of power. These were accompanied by the real ideological conflict as well, a difference over the best and the most appropriate way of organizing political, economic, and social life all over the world. That is, we cannot see any two countries actually fighting with each other with arms and ammunitions. But yes, ideologically they were at war with each other. In 1945, the Allied forces led by US, Soviet Union, Britain, and France defeated the Axis powers led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, ending the Second World War. The war had involved almost all the major powers of the world and spread out to regions outside Europe, including Southeast Asia, China, Burma, which is now known as Myanmar, and parts of India's northeast. This war devastated the world in terms of loss of human lives and civilian property. The World War ended when the United States dropped two atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, causing Japan to surrender. Critics suggest that the US action was intended to stop the Soviet Union from making military and political gains in Asia and elsewhere, and also to show Moscow that United States was supreme. The two superpowers were keen on expanding their spheres of influence in different parts of the world, which led to the formation of the alliance system. And we see two major alliances being formed at this time. The Western Alliance, headed by the US, represented the ideology of liberal democracy and capitalism. On the other hand, the Eastern Alliance, headed by the Soviet Union, was committed to the ideology of socialism and communism. The Western Alliances was formalized into an organization known as NATO, that is, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which came into existence in 1949. You can see all the yellow part is under the NATO, or you can say they were the NATO members. Whereas the Eastern alliances were also known as the Warsaw Pact, which was led by the Soviet Union, and it was created in 1955, and its principal function was to counter NATO's forces in Europe. Now you may ask a question as to why the superpowers needed any allies at all. After all, with their nuclear weapons and regular armies, they were so powerful. that the combined power of most of the smaller states in Asia and Africa and even in Europe was no match to that of the superpowers. So why did they needed these allies? The answer is very simple. These smaller states were helpful for the superpowers in gaining access to vital resources such as oil and minerals. Secondly, they could get a territory from where the superpowers could launch their weapons and troops. The third important point was that they can get an ideal location from where they could spy on each other. As far as economic support is concerned, many small allies together could help pay for military expenses. Last but not the least were the ideological reasons. That is, the loyalty of allies suggested that the superpowers were winning the war of ideas as well, that liberal democracy and capitalism were better than socialism and communism or vice versa. Another question which comes to our mind is why did the smaller states entered in the alliance system? The answer is very simple. These smaller states got the promise of protection, weapons, and economic aid against their local rivals, mostly regional neighbors with whom they had rivalries. The alliance systems led by these superpowers threatened to divide the entire world into two camps. The most important consequence of the end of the Second World War was the rise of the two new powers on the global stage. One was the United States and the second was Soviet Union. While the Cold War was an outcome of the emergence of US and USSR as two superpowers rivals to each other, we find that the logic of deterrence became very important. Now let us understand what this logic of deterrence was. By logic of deterrence, we mean to say that both sides have the capacity to retaliate against an attack and to cause so much destruction that neither can afford to initiate war. That is, both these rival powers were in possession of nuclear weapons capable of inflicting death and destruction unacceptable to each other. That is why neither side would want to risk war, since no political gains would justify the destruction of their societies. Now let us analyze what were the arenas of Cold War. Besides Cuban Missile Crisis, the two superpowers were poised for direct confrontations in Korea in the year 1950 to 53, then Berlin in 1958 to 62, Congo in the early 1960s, and several other places. Crisis deepened as neither of the parties involved was willing to back down. When we talk about the arenas of Cold War, therefore, we refer to areas where crisis and war occurred or threatened to occur between the alliance system but did not cross certain limits. For example, Korea. Great many lives were lost in Korea, Vietnam, and Afghanistan, but the world was spared a nuclear war and global hostilities. In some other cases, Huge military buildups were reported. In many other cases, diplomatic communication between the superpowers could not be sustained and contributed to the misunderstandings. One of the most important part of the chapter is the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, what was this Cuban Missile Crisis? In April 1961, the leaders of Soviet Socialist Republic, that is USSR, were worried that United States of America would invade communist-ruled Cuba and would overthrow Fidel Castro, the president of the small island Cuba, which was off the coast of United States. Now, Cuba was an ally of the Soviet Union and received both diplomatic and financial aid from it. Nikita Khrushchev, the leader of Soviet Union, decided to convert Cuba into a Russian base. In 1962, he placed nuclear missiles in Cuba. The installation of these weapons put the US for the first time under fire from close range and nearly doubled the number of bases or cities in American mainland which could be threatened by USSR. 3 weeks after the Soviet Union has placed the nuclear weapons in Cuba, the Americans became aware of it. US President John F. Kennedy and his advisors were reluctant to do anything that might lead to full-scale nuclear war between the two countries. But they were determined to get Khrushchev to remove the missiles and nuclear weapons from Cuba. Kennedy ordered American warships to intercept any Soviet ships which were heading to Cuba as a way of warning the USSR of his seriousness. A clash seemed imminent in what came to be known as Cuban Missile Crisis. It was a 13-day confrontation between the Soviets and the USA over ballistic missiles placed in Cuba. The prospects of this clash made the whole world nervous, for it would have been no ordinary war. Eventually, to the world's greatest relief, both the sides decided to avoid war. The Soviet ships slowed down and turned back. The Cuban Missile Crisis is considered to be the highest point of what came to be known as the Cold War. Similar tensions and series of confrontations between both the superpowers, that is the United States and Soviet Union, backed by their respective allies, could be seen often. Fortunate part was that it never escalated into a hot war, like we have seen in the case of Cuban Missile Crisis, where both the countries acted smartly and intelligently and averted another world war, which could have caused much more destruction. In spite of the fact that there were wars in various regions with the two powers and their allies were involved, but at least the world avoided another big global war. So that's all from my side. As far as the topic Cold War is concerned, keep revising, keep studying, and enjoy your lessons. Thank you.